So, you've been told everything you know is wrong. But I'm pretty sure there's at least one thing that you know a lot about. How do I know this? Because you're kind of embarrassed how much you know about that thing. And that shameful feeling is the signal that you're right and it's true that you know more about that thing than most other people. And that thing is maybe a little weird. I know this because I have one of those too. I'll tell you mine, and maybe by the end of this presentation, you'll feel empowered to start telling people about yours. So, my maybe kind of weird thing that I know a lot about pausing a moment since we're filming. Got it? Right, okay. My first doll was Samantha. Samantha Parkington. She's commonly referred to as the Victorian era doll, but technically the years that her books span are during the Edwardian era. And yes, if you didn't know, there are books. I really only care about the historical characters, and the dolls that I grew up knowing each had their own 6-book series. And the books center around themes of fairness, ingenuity in the face of adversity, friendships, and of course, American history. And while I appreciated these messages as a child reader, I liked Samantha the best because she had the prettiest outfits. Here's a photo of her where you can see her birthday party outfit a little better. Cute, right? But while obsessing over this extravagant birthday getup, I was also encountering age-appropriate introductions to issues of voting rights, abuse of child labor practices, and navigating gender expectations. I've spent a lot of my time just on Samantha, so let me take you quickly through the other members of my collection. There's Josefina Montoya, grew up in what became New Mexico. Felicity Merriman, colonial-era Virginia. And Kirsten Larson, Swedish immigrant who attends a one-room schoolhouse in Minnesota. I actually dressed as Kirsten for Halloween one year. In college. Okay, let's get that off the screen. Back to something less embarrassing. This is a shelf in my parents' house in what used to be my bedroom. It's like this, like right now. But really, why am I telling you all of this? Well, as I've gotten older and continue to think about these characters, keep the dolls, listen to podcasts about the books, follow Instagram accounts of other adult fans of American Girl, I've reflected on what it is that keeps me engaged. There's the nostalgia, but there's also the shortcut to thinking about bigger questions. American Girl is a lens through which I can process current events and interrogate social and political questions of the present. I can also look back at the gaps in what those stories wanted to tell me, as well as the gaps in my own collection. One doll not in my collection is Addie Walker. Addie is the character who escapes enslavement and travels to Philadelphia with her mother. I read the books, but the doll and her accessories were never on my birthday wish list. How do I understand those gaps now? Identifying and reflecting on those gaps has led me to looking for other, more adult-oriented stories of our American past. Having a familiar framework to approach an issue or problem can take you from, I don't know anything about that, and that's scary, to, actually, this kind of reminds me of a book I read when I was 9, and I'm curious to learn more. If everything we know is wrong, then curiosity and opportunities to feel comfortable expressing that curiosity can allow us to confront our wrongness. We can all start telling each other about that one weird thing we know a lot about. And from that vulnerability, we will create new communities and pathways to investigate and find out what's wrong, why, and how can we become more right. Thank you.